So the game starts off with a cabin in the woods, cause that's always the best place to be. It's not like there's anyone else on this mountain. Spooky. But there's animals, so that's great. For the Blackwood Country trophy, it requires us to be good to the animals and wildlife. So I made sure to stay still here with a deer, but it still ran away.
Bye, bitch.
Bye-bye. We soon find out that there's not one, not two, not three, but a whole group of teenagers in this cabin. Cause they're teenagers. They do stupid stuff. Talking as if I'm not one myself. We find out that these people are pranking their friend, and Blondie over here, the voice of reason, is against it. Sam, best character in the game, don't lie to yourself. We are then brought into our first experience of actual gameplay, and I find my first interactable, a camera, looking at the beautiful smiles moments before disaster. Look at them smile, unaware of the dangers creeping in to steal their happiness. I then find a totem and see that I'm gonna die, but ignore it and move on with my day like a normal person, cause we all see totems of our death and not in any way be concerned. Just a quick note, most of Until Dawn trophies are only obtained at the end of the game because this game wants you to play Until Dawn to get it. Get it?
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Beth, who we are playing as, finds the note to Hannah, who is obsessed over this Chad named Mike, and tells her brother Josh, who is asleep because he had too much to drink. And then cuts to a little cinematic of Hannah getting dressed and her friends setting up the prank, until it's finally time for her to meet Mike. After meeting him, Hannah begins to strip, because that's apparently what Mike said.
Making out?
But Sam butts in, causing the friends to come out of hiding and allow Hannah to overcome with embarrassment and run away. And you would think she would stop in her room, but nope. No, she runs into the woods alone and at night. Why? Cause
she's a runner, she's a track star. She gon' run away when it gets hard.
Beth sees this and tries to wake up Josh, but he's in La La Land. He is gonna feel dead in the morning.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
And goes to find her sister, alone for some reason. Must be a family thing because there's no one else here, obviously. Until she comes to an abandoned cabin, but instead of going back, nope, let's go towards it. What's the worst that could happen? Opening the door, we see utter darkness until flames shoot out at us, causing Beth to get scared and run away. We eventually find Hannah, but there's more running until they get to the cliff. And Hannah, being the dumbass that she is, pulls us over. But instead of using her other hand to pull herself up and save us, she just dangles. There was also this guy who came to help us, so I decided to trust a stranger and let go of my sister. It doesn't matter what you choose, whether you let go, drop, or wait out the timer, they both stall. You know, this gave us our first trophy for completing the prologue. We then come to therapy, where we see a beautiful picture of a farm and a scarecrow. Totally not scary. Also, this playthrough I was following someone else's choices to get the best ending for Josh, because in my 47 hours on playing on my other account, I can't get the bastard to feel remorseful. Link to that video in the description. We then time skip to a year later, starting chapter 1, where we see Sam's happy face to be back to the place her friends died. Doesn't this just scream happiness? It's revealed that Josh had invited all the friends back up to the cabin to celebrate the 1-year anniversary of his sister's death for some odd reason. After a short introduction on who Sam is, she's met with the crisis of a broken gate. Perfect. Turn back and go home. Which means she then has to climb over a wall. We then approach a squirrel, which I stayed still with like I did with Beth. Good squirrel. Look at you taking food from strangers. Perfect role model. Adding to my collection of finding stuff, I found this beautiful totem of birds? I also found a laundry store packet. Also, that's not graffiti, that's blood. Leave now. The red flags were minutes literally in red. I then snoop through Chris's phone, which he catches me doing, but shows me a gun range instead. I also found my first clue for Mysterious Man.
Oh man.
They shot some stuff.
I'm a badass.
Definitely not the squirrel. And broke into the cable card place, which was supposed to be locked to keep out strangers.
Josh wanted us to keep it locked.
Not like there's any other place for them to come in. Chris tells us about the butterfly effect, and here's where it gets tricky, so make sure to keep your ears open for this one.
Next time, open your ears.
We meet Jessica, who we find out is dating Mike, who used to date Emily, who used to be Jessica's best friend, who is now dating Matt, who used to be best friends with Mike. But now they're all enemies. That's great. 2 new people arrive. Nope, 3. Mike and Matt start flirting to ease whatever tension they have.
Oh my god, totally. We're so gonna make out.
When Emily, being Emily, runs away from her boyfriend, making an excuse to meet up with Sam.
I need to go find Sam.
Okay.
Ma'am, does Sam know about this meetup? We then meet Ashley, hate this woman, who catches Emily and Mike hugging but tells Matt, which makes him angry and storms off. We needed that to happen. Introductions are finally done. Now you have met all the characters. We then come to chapter 2 when we enter the lodge. I got my second clue for Mystery Man, and I basically feast on clues from here on out. Got a totem on Emily's death, a clue on Mystery Man, learnt about the twins, pictures, doors closing randomly.
Huh?
Funny dialogue.
Shouldn't you be like getting the lock open or something?
On it.
Recordings, windows shutting randomly. Trophies, you know, the usual. I almost got my hand bit off by a bear though. Badger? I don't know what that was. We finally open the door to let everyone in, and the time comes for confrontation. Finally some drama. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the first episode of Keeping Up with the Characters. I don't know what to call it. Matt confronted Mike about the hug, which he says was just friendly, and Matt apologizes and brushes it off. Emily, however, got into a fight with Jessica, which Emily, despite being annoying, absolutely destroyed Jessica in.
I don't give a crap what you think.
At least I can think. 4.0 bitch, on a roll. Suck on that when you're trying to sleep your way into a job.
Then dragged Matt out the cabin to get a package of hers, giving me the trophy lodge fever for having Matt and Emily starting separate confrontations in the lodge. Mike and Jess are on the terrace talking about some stuff, which Josh interrupts and tells them about the cabin and to turn on the generator. And I found a totem. While the two walked away from the lodge, they stopped to take a selfie, which earned me the hour-long selfie trophy for having Mike take a bad selfie of him and Jess. After the game progresses of Mike and Jessica going to the cabin Josh told them about, they encounter a roadblock, but Jessica didn't want to be with Emily, so she fell into a mine, also revealing this creepy guy following us for some reason, although we did see him earlier. Huh. I found a totem, saw a glimpse of a shadow, and found more clues until we reached the end and had Jess look through a glass eye telescope thing, where she saw someone by the cabin but for some reason still wants to go. Make it make sense, people. White people, I tell you. And Mike saw a glimpse of a Wendigo but ignores it. I found a totem of Jessica's death but ignore it. They experience another roadblock, so Jess jumps over like a boss and throws a snowball at Mike as payback for their previous snowball fight. And while Mike makes a ball, Jessica is gone. How the hell do you lose a grown woman in a blink of an eye? And she's screaming. We then cut to Sam and everyone else who's unimportant who wants to play with a summoning board. While playing as Sam, we got to see exactly how obsessed Hannah was. Sam just wants to bath, Josh acts like a weirdo, and Chris scares us, eventually taking a vow of silence. Sam leaves them to bath, voice of reason for a reason, and the others get ready to set up their spooky spirit talk. Playing as Matt again, I got another clue. Another interactable, totally doesn't add to my fear of dolls. Scared by a light turning on, then getting jealous over a table before being responsible and leaving after seeing a pig head. Oh, a clue. Nice. Chapter 3 starts with spirit board time, something that everyone should be doing. We see Josh get offended by his dead sisters talking to them. Ashley for some reason is the one who can communicate with them. Clearly they don't like their brother's voice. We obviously know Josh moves the triangle thing because, oh, spoilers. We come back to Mike going to find Jessica. I find another totem, got scared by a mask in the car, and to top it off, got scared by Jessica, who also, wait, recorded the whole thing. So apparently Mike and Emily were really in love to carve their initials into every piece of wood. I guess you could say they were real sappy.
Stop it.
I got a totem and a ball, and to add to the collection I found a mask which I had the option to scare Jessica with, which I did. We got jump scared by a deer, the same deer which was half eaten, so something was following us. To add to the Blackwood Country trophy, I made sure to comfort the deer only for it to be dragged off and have Mike and Jessica running for their lives to the cabin. We then see Mike try to woo Jessica, and oh wait, the Wendy is spying on them. While they were getting ready to do stuff, they were interrupted by Jessica's phone, which makes her angry and confronts the lunatic, whom she thought was her friends, which resulted in her getting pulled through a window. Ouch. Wow, Mike should have brought protection. We move to Ashley and Chris, and I find another clue for the twins and another totem of a dog. Oh my gosh, they're the dog in the game. Found a weird light until books start falling off randomly. We then see them explore the library, cause let's all listen to ghosts, apparently. Chris then finds a weird note, and I don't know man, there's some weird paranormal stuff. This is why you don't mess with the spirits. Got another clue. Chris tells Ashley about a whole bunch of stuff which should have been said to everyone at the beginning. Josh can be heard screaming, which Ashley runs to the rescue, which Chris ends up running to the rescue, only to get hit in the head. Josh conveniently disappeared. Totally not suspicious at all. Oh Great, more therapy, something we all need. And oh, that's perfect. Now we get to play favorites, something your parents did with you and your siblings. Chapter 4 starts with Mike playing hero. And here's where the road to all survive comes in. I need to save everyone, and Jessica is first on the chopping block. Now the way to save her is to take every single shortcut without missing any of the quick time events. We do reach Jessica in time, so that's good. We can now witness her being dragged into the cabin. Wait. Jessica is gonna have to wait. Side quest activated. I found a totem. Okay, wow. She's fine, right? Totally unharmed. She's perfectly fine. Never mind. We then see Mike take advantage of his plot armor and chase after the deadly creature, also jamming his gun in the process while trying to shoot a guy. Although I do find it weird how that Wendigo didn't attack Mike. I find some more interactables, totems, and doesn't this look familiar? Uncharted, is that you? Okay, it cuts to Chris, who's on his way to find Ashley.
Ashley? Ashley? Anyone out there? Ashley? Ash.
Clearly he's not worried about Josh. I find a clue in a totem of Chris's death, by the way, which he ignores. He then finds them in a situation that looks like it would be in a Saw movie, and he had to choose who to save. You know what? Josh gets the Saw for putting me through so much to get him to say I'm sorry. I guess you could say Josh saw that coming. Ashley and Chris then run into Matt and Emily, and those two leave them after finding out Josh is dead. Rest in peace, Josh. More therapy, I guess, especially after that. Chapter 5, we see Mike after walking in the snow to chase a random man who appears to be entering a weird looking building. Mike obviously goes and follows him to take revenge for his girlfriend's death like the valiant hero he is. Walking to the entrance, I grab a totem cause they are lying everywhere.
Wouldn't I end up in the creepiest place on planet Earth?
Exactly, Mike. But guess what? You came to the right spot because welcome to the Sanctum. We got everything you need. Clues, totems, weird looking strap chairs, interactables. Get it all now at your one-stop pit stop for only $9.99. The Sanctum. So it's clear that after deep exploration that there were miners, approximately 30, but only a few were rescued, and they were obviously involved in some type of lab testing. That's probably why there is handwriting and documents lying all over. We eventually find a machete, and we see this weird hand device, but being the champ that I am, I get my hand caught in a bear trap. Obviously for this I had to open the bear trap, open it again, and then amputate fingers to get the Saw That Coming trophy. We then walk away like a champ, finding a head in a jar. Totally normal. Some name tags, documents, and a skeleton with a rat. Oh look, it's Ratatouille. We finally got the card we needed, allowing us to use the guarded doors, only to have us being chased by a literal wolf. But don't worry ladies, he is safe. This man has plot armor. He opens the door we were also hoping for, and we had to do another quick time event for our Blackwood trophy, which was to not kick the wolf. He did make friends with it, however. I don't know if this counts towards a trophy, but I'll say it does. We found more clues, got a jacket. I don't know how he was surviving in the cold like that. We also got a gun, but go blasting it because there's no one else here. More clues and another plot armor sequence. Now playing as Matt and Emily, Matt specifically, got another totem, and now we have to get into the stable.
Whoa, wait a second.
Isn't this a warm welcome? We find a radio tower, and yes, I know Matt is supposed to disagree, but as I said, I'm following someone else's traces to get the... I'm sorry for the... On our way, we take the steepest, most dangerous, most obscure path, but all is fine because I find a totem. And Beth's phone. I love how a bunch of kids managed to uncover more of a crime scene than an entire police investigation. Great, now we are cornered by animals. Perfect. I love how while everyone was in a death or near death situation, Sam was just chilling in the bath listening to music. Also completely unaware that there was a creep watching her. We explore with Sam. Tao was a paid actor. I managed to escape successfully, which I'm happy with after hitting him with a vase, getting a trophy, running, hiding, hitting him again with a bat, which is only available if you found it while turning on the geyser with Josh in chapter 2, and getting a trophy for having Sam successfully escape. And now more therapy with no choices, but a big ass plot twist to tell us it was the psycho who was in therapy. Oh, who would have thought? Chapter 6 start off where Matt and Em are trapped by Elk. It's important to remain calm. Everyone, stay calm.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody, stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait. Everybody, calm down.
Also, don't hit the elk at the end. I managed to escape thanks to my big brain move and arrive at the elk Radio tower. If you venture off to the side into the dark and spooky forest, you'll find exclusive content, a very rare and extravagant totem of your ex-best friend and boyfriend, and a once-in-a-lifetime interactable where you can live out your furry dreams of sounding like an elk. After climbing the ladders, a lot of ladders, we enter the tower, find Hannah's missing poster, a flare gun which I gave to Matt. I'm gonna regret not picking the disagree option. Turn the power back on like an IT expert, find Beth's missing poster, and we get an F in the chat for Beth, I mean the twins. Got a totem, and now we can finally get help.
Major service for Blackwood County, over.
Hello?
But that's all for nothing because they aren't coming until dawn, and we get attacked. Emily ends up falling like a dumbass, and Matt found the perfect conversation starter. Obviously, to save Matt, I chose to save myself instead of helping Emily. On to Ashley and Chris, collectible. Ashley got scared by a candle turning on, making fun of her as if I won't shit my pants if I witness the same thing. Out of my own sanity, I refused to talk about this, but in short, we found a dollhouse. Ashley kept seeing ghosts, and Chris was an ass for not even paying attention.
Dip, what are you tweeting? Hashtag there's a freaking ghost after us.
She got a point there, Chris. We got a key, open the dollhouse. It was the scene of the prank. Doll is possessed, invasion of dead person's privacy, and we see that Josh is in therapy. Totally not suspicious. We also go to the door that's opening itself. Yeah, that happens. Were you spooked? Anyways, we find a camera,
Go suck an egg.
a book about light bulbs, and grab scissors. A head, which was also infested with bugs.
Ew, gross.
Tastes like chicken.
I got a totem, some fake newspapers. Don't we all love false media? Now we enter the place everyone wants to be, in the dark. Clumania. Ancient devices older than us all. Would love to own, by the way. Now, ladies and gentlemen, in order to get everyone to survive, I need to save Chris. And in order to save Chris, I need to shoot him. Therapy? Chapter 7 stars our favorite character. Samantha Giddings and the Towels make yet another appearance, ladies and gentlemen. Remember not to get caught in chapter 5, otherwise you won't be seeing all the juicy deets about Josh, I mean the psycho. Like Josh's therapy notes, recordings, I don't know what these things are called, and texts between the therapist and Josh, or the memorance board, or the trophy for shaking a random snow globe. That's right, new trophy, which is earned after shaking a snow globe, and a voice recording with a voice changer. Just great. And our last mystery man clue, which gives us the You Opened Our Eyes trophy. While grabbing our bag, our leg got grabbed by none other than the champ himself, Michael Myers, giving Sam the opportunity to tell Mike about Josh's death and how he could be a part of the whole thing. Mike then asked for help, so we unlocked the door for him, but first things first, Skull's gotta change. And oh, perfect timing. Screaming can be heard, which causes Mike and Sam to barge into the second door, suing Chris and Ash, also revealing that the weapon is fake and the psycho is Josh, giving us the Our Host trophy. It then cuts to Emily dangling upside down, using her brain to provide light and going through the mines to find a way out while also obtaining clues. While escaping, we accidentally run into this guy who ends up chasing us, forcing us into a dead end which I choose to hide. But seriously, Em, where's that 4.0? The fire allows us to see a face. A dramatic skip brings us back to Josh, who's laughing and talking, with a short montage of how he got everything working. After Mike tells Josh that Jesse's dead, he got punched by Mike getting knocked out, only to wake up and get punched by Chris. Mike and Chris then drag Josh to the small house where they plan to keep him locked up and watched over. Chapter 8 reveals this man had no intention of harming Em since he tells her to run away while giving her flares. More clues and totems are found, but this is the chapter where Emily and Chris are set to die on, Emily being first. So I had to make sure she survived, which I did. She got bit though. After she arrived back at the cabin, reuniting with everyone else, the mystery man shows up like a boss, explaining about the Wendigo. You tell them, sir, you educate these uneducated children. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The man instructs them to hide in the basement, but Mike says he left Josh alone, which causes Chris and the flamethrower guy to go save him. Sadly, Josh wasn't there, and we lost the hero. F in the chat for flamethrower dude. To ensure Chris doesn't die here, hit all the quick time events, shoot all the targets, and make sure you pointed the weapon at Chris in chapter 6, and he shall live. Once in the basement, the group is trying to figure out a plan to escape, which causes Mike to go back to the sanctum for unknown reasons. But before that, Ashley threw a fit, almost got Emily killed, but all is forgiven because Emily slapped the shit out of Ashley, which gave me a trophy. I also got clues and Sam went after Mike. Now please, Give me Josh's dialogue. This is the moment I've been waiting for.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
Chapter 9 is basically almost the same as chapter 5, except now we got a shotgun and we can roam with the wolf. We also got a whole bunch of clues. The remainder of the 1951. Sadly, this joy doesn't last long because we encountered the Wendigos and had to escape from them, which I did. With the wolf. Very important that I escape with the wolf. Not just because it gives me a trophy, but because we must protect the dog at all times. I found another totem and got my last interactable, which gave me 2 trophies. For interacting with all the collectibles and for having Mike interact with the strange trophy statue. I then got chased again and decided to barricade the door here and get the trophy for saving the wolf. Sadly, it doesn't come with us. Oh, come on, game! How can you make me form this emotional bond with the dog? And then they don't come with me. How do I know he's gonna be safe? Who's gonna protect him? I escaped didn't last long because the Wendy from before found me and I blew the place up. But it's unknown how the wolf survived, but he lives on in our hearts. Also, please tell me someone else saw this. Mike running away. Anyways, we also got a trophy for having Mike successfully escape. We're back with Sam and here we have to reassure Chris in order for him to survive, which prompts him to join us. Totem. We crawl in through the sewers, which Sam leaves Ashley behind to close the thing. Good call, Sam. Roaming alone as Ash, we hear Jessica. Jessica's voice, which I then explore to get my totem. But don't open the trapdoor. Not yet, because we need this woman to survive. Successfully meeting up with the gang, Sam tells everyone to go back so she can find Mike. We then cut to caves and a falling Josh. How do they survive these falls? I don't know. Back to Sam, we now have to climb the rock wall, which after a failed attempt, I do successfully. I then find another totem and can either go 2 ways to get 2 types of weapons, but I choose the scary way to get a totem and a shovel. I also got scared by fire, but we don't talk about that. We then save Mike from Brom and unleash his spirit back into the League verse. Chapter 10, no therapy this time. Oh wait, there is. Never mind. This chapter starts off odd, but it's basically Josh losing his mind completely over his sister's death after some weird interactions and not punching the pig. We see a Wendigo. I'm just as confused as you are. Like, seriously. Back with Sam and Mike, Mike tells Sam how the Wendigos are the same as the miners. We then find Beth's grave and watch, which opens up big revelations. After learning that they didn't die from the fall, we swerve off-road to read another supposedly dead person's journal again. Hannah was done the unthinkable stuff. Now I can finally say it. Hannah was the Wendigo following Mike, which is why Mike never died by her, which is also why she absolutely destroyed Jessica. And all in all is obsessive. Trophy. We make our way back to the other side, totem, and reconnect with Flamethrower Guy's head. After feeling mildly disgusted, they saw Josh, earning another smack to the face. Wow, Josh is not having it today. Sam goes rock climbing and Mike escorts Josh out the cave. Totem. Okay, there's a lot of totems in this game. Only for him to get dragged off by his sister. We then play as Matt again, and did someone say quick time event? Yeah boy, my skills are too good to dodge it. Matt helps Jess escape. Totem again. There's so many totems and there's still more totems to come. Twice, which caused both of them to survive. We then switch back to rock climbing as Sam, who has skin of diamond for her not to be shivering her butt off, and then grab my last trophy for collecting all the totems and run back to the cabin banging on the door, but Mike arrives and we calm now. So now if we are ever chased, we have a sacrifice. Turns out that the wind is broke into the cabin and we are in a life or death situation again. And so my time was used of lack of oxygen and skilled gameplay to try and get everyone out to survive. And oh boy, did I struggle, but I did manage to do it successfully and get my 2 trophies. After completing the game, I then went into the episode select and did every opposite choice that I did in my first gameplay to then have a therapy session with the therapist, I forgot his name, and get the trophy of changing our fate because we couldn't change our fate. I went back to chapter 5 and made sure to make Matt disagree. After disagreeing, I went to the radio tower, gave him the flamethrower, and then chose to save Emily to give the Wendigo time to catch up to us. After that, I managed to get my other trophy for having Matt defend himself with the flamethrower. Then in chapter 6, I made sure to point the gun at Ashley, because now we can finally get rid of Chris. In chapter 8, I get rid of Chris, which gives me another trophy for having Ashley not open the door. I then made sure to shoot off Emily so that Ashley can feel the immense guilt and trauma from having accidentally killed off a friend because she was too stupid to think of other possibilities. Then in chapter 9, I then make sure to open the trapdoor with Ashley so that she can obviously get cut off. Then I get rid of Sam and Mike in chapter 10 along with Josh, so I don't find Hannah's journal, which gives me the only 2 love trophies for having Matt and Jessica survive. Then I went back into chapter 10 and just got rid of the last remaining characters, which gave me the No One Loves trophy, and that, my friends, is every single trophy and getting my platinum in Until Dawn. I am never playing this game again.